When I moved out to my ranch, I thought life would be quiet, peaceful, and far away from city drama. My land stretched wide, and the rolling hills gave me all the freedom I ever wanted. But freedom, as I soon learned, doesn't sit well with a homeowners association. My ranch technically bordered their neighborhood. I wasn't a member. I had no interest in becoming one. Yet that didn't stop them from interfering in my life. It all began with a fence. I built it tall, sturdy, and painted in bold rustic colors that reminded me of home. To me, it looked strong and proud. To the HOA, it was gaudy and offensive to community standards. One morning, I found a thick packet taped to my gate. Inside were warnings, fines, and a demand that I take the fence down. My ranch was outside their jurisdiction, but they still acted as if I had broken their sacred laws. I laughed at first, but laughter quickly turned into frustration when they started blocking my access road with cones and guards, claiming it was private HOA property and that I was trespassing every time I came and went. They thought they had me cornered. They had no idea what I had planned. The president of the HOA, a woman I'll call Karen, was ruthless. She strutted around like a sheriff in a one-horse town. She sent me letters every week, stuffed with threats of lawsuits and liens. She even marched up to my front gate one afternoon and yelled through it, demanding that I repaint or tear down my fence. "Your eyesore of a fence lowers our property values," she shouted. "If you won't respect the rules, then we'll make you." I told her she had no authority over me. That's when she smirked and said the words that set everything into motion. "We control the only road leading into your property. You either bow to the HOA, or you won't be getting in or out." For a moment, my stomach dropped. They weren't bluffing. The road that wound through the neighborhood was their main access point, and they had every intention of using it as leverage. But Karen didn't realize something important. That road wasn't technically owned by the HOA. It was still listed as private land on old county records. And with one phone call to the county clerk, I confirmed the truth. The road was for sale. Most people wouldn't even think to buy a road. But I'm not most people. I had saved money for years, planning to expand my ranch. Instead, I used it to buy the strip of land that ran straight through the HOA's neighborhood. Within weeks, the deed was in my hands. The HOA had been so busy harassing me about my fence that they hadn't noticed I had quietly bought the ground beneath their tires. When the paperwork cleared, I drove down the road with a grin on my face. Every house in that neighborhood depended on that stretch of asphalt. Without it, they were boxed in. I didn't say a word at first. I waited. I let them keep issuing fines and threats, piling them high. I let them laugh when they thought I had no choice but to obey. Then, one Saturday morning, I made my move. Construction trucks rolled in. Workers hammered down posts and stretched a long steel chain across the road. At both ends, I placed signs: private property, no HOA access. The neighborhood erupted in chaos. Homeowners couldn't get to work. Delivery trucks turned around at the barricade. School buses had to reroute. HOA Karen stormed down the road, waving papers and screaming about illegal obstruction. She threatened to sue me, to call the police, to bring the county down on my head. The police did come, but when I showed them my deed, their jaws tightened. The law was on my side. The road belonged to me. The HOA had no rights to it anymore. If they wanted access, they'd have to negotiate. Karen's confidence cracked that day. For the first time, she looked unsure, her face pale as she realized she had no control. Her army of board members tried to rally behind her, but without a road, they couldn't even get cars in and out of their pristine cul-de-sacs. My single fence had turned into their nightmare. The HOA folded faster than I expected. Within a week, Karen and her board members were begging for a meeting. They offered to drop every complaint, every fine, every threat. They promised never to interfere with my ranch again, if only I reopened the road. I leaned back, smiled, and told them the truth. I would unlock the road, but not because of their begging. I was going to lease it back to them, at a price. Every homeowner would now pay me a small fee to use the road they once claimed as their own. The same HOA that tried to trap me ended up paying me to come and go from their own neighborhood. My fence still stands tall on my ranch. Every time I look at it, I remember the day the HOA tried to control me. And I remember the day I bought their only road and closed it right in their faces. Justice, after all, is best served with a locked gate and a smile.